All right, everyone, welcome back into another NBA DFS video. My name is Eric Polzin. You can follow me at 905 Sports. Going to be getting into the top picks here for this Sunday slate, and I always like these Sunday NBA DFS slates because, well, everyone is focused more so on NFL DFS. I feel like there is an edge to gain there. People are not as sharp on this, on the Sunday slate. So I do think it's a chance to take advantage of, these slates. And this is finally one that is going to be a good slate, one that I'm excited to attack. So we'll get into that here right now, guys. But if you enjoy this coverage, make sure to give a like and subscribe. If you guys want access to any of the tools that you see in this video, make sure to click the link in the description below. All right, let's get into it. So as always, I like to start off with the injury news on this slate. So Ja Morant currently expected to sit. He is doubtful. LeBron James, more on the doubtful side. Kyrie Irving, he is out. Highland's out. Desmond Bane, more on the doubtful side as well. James Harden out. Bradley Beal looking like he's going to sit. And then just a bunch of non-really slate impacting news. So nothing too crazy. I mean, there is a lot of crazy injury news, but we'll be able to break it down. And there's going to be some really high chalky players because of the players that are out. Okay. So, let's get into it. All right. So just looking at who are the top projected plays on the slate, we got Joel Embiid, Nikola Jokic, Kevin Durant, and let's just make sure this is the main slate. All right, we're good. Curry, Anthony Davis down in the middle, Porzingis, Garland, Sabonis. Okay, yes, we get that. No real shocks there. So let's get into the top values. All right, looking at FanDuel value. Yes, Tyus Jones on both DraftKings and FanDuel is going to be a pretty strong play. Maybe on FanDuel, you have to think about it a little bit, but probably not. Even at 4.5, he's going to be someone that you're going to be looking at with Bane out and also with Ja Morant out. He should just be able to get there. It should be easy. It's kind of just a plug and play. John as well for the Memphis Grizzlies. A strong price point play across both slates. And honestly, we'll put the build out there right now and we'll put those two into both of the builds just because I think you're just going to have to play them. Now, sure, can you fade one of the value plays that are available for the Grizzlies on the slate? Sure. And, just make an educated guess as to which other Grizzlies player you should be on. But with so many players out for them, with their two best players out for them, they're going to want to look to play at least one or two of them. Then from there, nothing too crazy on the FanDuel side value-wise, which is good. Let's look on the DraftKings side. I thought Dylan Brooks would be popping up a little bit more. I expect him to be pretty chalky, and I'll show you guys the projected ownership here in a second. I haven't looked at it just yet, but I expect him to be pretty chalky as well. No big shocks here value price point wise on DraftKings. Maybe a little bit Joe Harris. Kevon Looney has been someone that, you've been able to play if you needed to at the center spot. I'm not sure that's the route I would go. But yeah, nothing too crazy. Let's get into the ownership here, and then I'll be getting into the first look kind of build process for you guys. All right, so looking at, yes, Tyus Jones is going to be extreme chalk. He's simply too cheap on DraftKings. It just makes sense. He should be high owned, and he's going to be high owned. So Dylan Brooks, once again, he is someone that should be high owned. Probably going to go for 30 DK points. Maybe he's not like a lock to get 7x or anything, kind of like we're expecting with Tyus Jones, but someone that you want to play as well. Curry's going to be soaking up some ownership. I think some people are going to want to chase that Golden State-Sacramento game, and we'll pull up the NBA odds to see if that's like a route that you should be going. So yes, that game has very high over and under. That is a game that I want to attack. So I'll probably be filling in with that Memphis value and then just trying to stack this game. Okay, that's the route that I want to go. And Denver-Chicago, kind of a close one as well, 230. Let's see let's see the spread. All games are pretty much expected to be close, which is good. We don't have to worry about the potential of a blowout Vegas-wise. It's not being predicted that way, which is always good. So let's look at FanDuel real quick for the salaries or for the ownership, and then we'll be getting into the build process. So FanDuel, it's going to be more the same. Some people are going with Maxey on FanDuel. I get it. A lot cheaper on FanDuel than he is on DraftKings. That could be a viable route that you go. Jamal Murray, I'm not sure we have to play him. Once again, I kind of just want to go Memphis and then stack the Kings Golden State game. That is the easiest route to go. Royce O'Neal, he's a quality price point play. He has been that for, 4 out of the 5 games without Kyrie Irving. So certainly a route in which you could go if you wanted to. Yes, Russell Westbrook should be high owned, and I expect Anthony Davis to be high owned as well. He should be, just with LeBron James expected to sit. If he obviously plays, then it's a moot point, but probably going to go for 50 DK points. I know it's tough to trust him on a late slate because he could be a scratch. You always have that possibility, but this is DFS. This is gambling. That's a risk that you have to take, but it's an educated risk that you can take. All right, so let's get into the build process here. So yeah, I'm just going to put Dylan Brooks in there. That's kind of simple. Let's look at the guard plays. So yes, Curry, if you can afford to pay up for him, I do think that you try to do that. Okay, look at what he's done against the Kings. 72 and 46. Yes, 46 at 10.2 is going to hurt you if he does that again, but the possibility that he can go for 70 DK points is there. Obviously we've seen that. The expectation would be that he goes for 50 and maybe get you more upside than that. But honestly, it's going to be tough not to play De'Aaron Fox, who equally has been pretty good against the Golden State Warriors. 39 DK points and 49 DK points. If we can get the middle of that, let's say 45 DK points, that is something that I like. Obviously, a game that you want to be chasing. That's a play that should be a strong price point play. The tough part is that Russell Westbrook, once again, just in a great spot, especially if LeBron James sits. He is currently priced at pretty much his floor. They haven't been increasing his price point. Now, yes, 7.7 is starting to get to the point where you start to think about it a little bit, but at the same time, you're not like too overly worried about it. If he gets 34 DK points at 7.7, that's not going to hurt you terribly. And with LeBron James out, should be a strong play. The minutes are going to be there, we know. The usage is going to be there, we know. He is a player that I've been trying to play. So Corey Kispert is going to be someone that some people might be looking at just because he had a good game in his last game. Price point wise, it could be worth the risk, especially given the fact that you can play him at the guard and forward spot with Bradley Beal out. Potential that he could be an okay play. Obviously not something you're going crazy with. So yes, looking at Anthony Davis, once again, he is going to be a tough play. He's always questionable. Now, he's probable on this, but he always has that Q tag. You can never feel too safe about him playing, but at the same time, should be a great spot going against Brooklyn. Okay, 9.8 is a very cheap price point for a guy that should and could easily go for 50 plus. I want to kind of just take that risk on this slate thus far and maybe make some adjustments as the night goes on to maybe prep for him to potentially sit in a couple of builds. But like if I'm making one build, I think I want to be on him. I think that's the route I would try to go. And then from there, guys, we do have some decent kind of value with the Washington Wizards. Now, Kyle Kuzma went off in his last game and, 40 DK points in the game after that. With Bradley Beal out, we have seen him be more productive. He's starting to get at a higher price point. If Kristaps Porzingis were to sit for some reason, yes, he'd kind of be a lock and load. With him being active, though, not exactly someone is as a must play. Okay, someone you can certainly still look at. So Porzingis here, I do think he is a good play. The worry with him is that the last time they faced Memphis, only 26 DK points. Okay, that's a big worry. We can't take that at this price point. But with Beal out, the shot attempts should be there. Obviously, he just had a cold night shooting against them there. That's kind of reflected in his rebounds then and everything else. So maybe just had an off night. Got into foul trouble. Just a bad night. Can he bounce back from that matchup? Sure. Tobias Harris, a fine price point play. You can take the guess on either Michael Porter or Aaron Gordon, like whichever one's going to do well, but it is kind of just a guessing game there. Bruce Brown, someone you could take a flyer on, went off in his last game. Hachimura, not a terrible price point play. It does feel like you'd be kind of forcing it in there. Brendan Clark, kind of same thing. Someone that could easily go for 20 plus DK points and it wouldn't shock you too much. Another play price point wise could be strong. Was popping up there on the index on the model there as a strong value. So right now he is someone that I'm kind of just plugging in and playing at the forward spot. And then we have a decent amount of money left over for center. Now there are a ton of quality of center plays, guys. Sabonis, should easily be able to go for 40 DK points in this matchup. Should be safe. He's done that the last 2 times against them. I like that. Claxton in a spot in which he could be able to go off against the Lakers. 4 out of his last 5 games have been really strong, productive nights, especially given this price point. The only game that wasn't was a game in which was a huge blowout. Okay. And they just he didn't play any minutes. He was still a strong price per minute player on that slate. So someone you could look at if you need to pay down. Obviously we saw Steven Adams getting a lot of ownership. I'm not exactly sure I want to go that route, although, should be a safe play. And that's the biggest thing with him. Should be a very safe play. Against against Washington earlier, though, didn't exactly go off against them. So that is your worry there. Kevon Looney, obviously a decent price point play for you. If you need to go that route, you certainly can. Against the Kings thus far, went for 28 and 27 DK points as well. That is something that you like to see. So yeah, we can see just a lot of strong price point plays. Now, if I could afford to fit Sabonis into this build, I would love to do that. Obviously, we can't just yet. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put AD at the center spot to open up my forward spot. And then sure, Lauri Markkanen, could easily go for 40 DK points. Wouldn't shock you at all. We'll plug and play him for now. Obviously, as the slate goes on, we can make some adjustments as needed. All right, thanks for watching, guys. Remember, if you want access to any of the tools that you saw in this video, make sure to click the link in the description below. If you enjoyed this coverage, make sure to give it a like and subscribe. That helps us be able to help you guys out. All right, have a good slate and good luck.